W&L was blah, 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 blah.
Ah, so bored.
And blah, 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 blah.
Hello! Now why are you sleeping in class?
Who are you? Why do I look so funny?
None of that is important right now. What is important is the history of W&L and the early students.
Okay. They seem kind of boring. I'm not interested.
The first set of rules was established in 1783. Every student had to attend morning prayers. Every student had to take his seat without noise and study without speaking loud. No student could leave his seat without permission. No one could leave the academy until evening prayers were over or he had permission. Every student must behave with decency and sobriety, not whispering or using unseemly gestures during prayers or worship. No student should call any of his fellow students by anything but his first or last name.
Hey, Robert!
No cards, dice, or any unlawful games. No student should be at a tavern at unreasonable hours or engage in debauching revels. No student should curse, swear, lie, or use any other profane language.
Hashtag money and star apostrophe double exclamation point.
Every student should treat everyone with decency and respect.
I like your outfit.
Every student should rise up and bow when any gentleman comes in or goes out. 2 students shall pronounce an oration after prayers each evening. But sometimes the rules failed. On February 1st, 1787, students were charged with conspiring to burn the academy. And stealing a beehive.
No!
They were expelled.
Good.
Sometimes kids did stupid things, like kick other students, profanely swear, and say racist things.
You're the devil according to his magnitude.
Whatever. This, of course, resulted in expulsion.
Wow. But that didn't happen often. Did it?
Well, one time at the steward's house, in August 1804, a student threw a biscuit at the steward because he was not served right away. The student was, of course, expelled. Then Washington Academy continued to uphold the belief that the students should act gentlemanly. In 1804, Washington Academy made a move towards the current campus location, where Graham Hall was built. With the close proximity to the town, the students frequented the streets, shops, and barrooms of the town, especially at night. Stricter policies were implemented, and the students were forbidden to leave their rooms during study hours. Faculty were required to visit student rooms after 9 p.m. to ensure students were not sneaking out. However, no degree of vigilance could prevent frequent disorders. It was extremely difficult to detect offenders as students could easily slip in and out of their rooms. To avoid public exposure of their discrepancies, students would sometimes miss exams. It was then decided that if a student missed an exam and did not have a valid reason, they could be held back a year academically.
Wow. I never knew any of that. How interesting. If W&L was Washington Academy, when did it become a college?
Glad you asked. In 1812, through legislature, Washington Academy became Washington College. Quote, the discipline of the institution was based on the assumption that all the students of the college were gentlemen, that by cultivating the moral principles and the habits of gentlemen, united with mental acquirements, their success in the afterlife would be secured, as far as collegiate education would secure it. Around 1820. It was during the time in our nation's history that America was enthralled with the concept of peripatetic learning, with the ideals of order and knowledge gained through study, and with the theme of the nobility and necessity of the distance college and its classical curriculum. Intellectual interests falling outside the prescribed curriculum often were discouraged. Students often protested with vandalism and violence. Riots and disorder were not uncommon. Chaos and disorder, such as accidental shootings, or students on the roof of the chapel. Students began reshaping the American college with unofficial curricula, first literary and debating societies, then with the Greek letter fraternities, and later organized athletics. So, when Robert E. Lee arrived, he implemented some changes. The Charter and Laws of Washington College in 1866 declare the moral rules and discipline. The moral rules follow close suit to the original rules aforementioned, such as 1. The students shall attend divine service every Sabbath day. 2. No student shall play at cards, dice, or any other games of hazard. 3. They shall not visit any tippling house, or become intoxicated, use profane or obscene language. 4. No student shall be concerned in fighting in a duel under penalty of expulsion. 5. All guns, gunpowder, pistols, dirks, sword canes, and other deadly weapons are strictly prohibited on college grounds. 6. When a student is at any time found improperly out of his room by an officer, he shall forthwith return to his room. These moral rules were met with discipline. The penalties shall be demerit, admonition, or reproof, indefinite suspension, dismission, or expulsion. The last can be afflicted only by the Board of Trustees, others by faculty. And thus concludes the early rules and consequences of Washington and Lee, before the honor system was introduced.